Hey everyone, and welcome to FIVO BI Services. This is the final episode of our Power BI data series, and essentially, I'll be showing you guys how to curate a proper Power BI dashboard that properly communicates insights in a visually appealing way, right? So, we're going to follow basic graphic design principles, alignment, and coloring, you know, picking a proper and an acceptable color theme that is sophisticated enough for a professional audience. And yeah, I'm just gonna get straight into it. So don't forget, we've done in the series, we connected to our data source, we transformed it, we also explored it in a way, and now it's time for the final step, whereby we are to make a proper dashboard to communicate all our findings and to essentially round up this whole process. So let's get straight into it. Where we stopped at the last class, we'll utilize this three charts in our dashboard. We just need to add one more chart, right? Just need to add one more chart. And one thing I don't like is when my pie or donut chart has more than three categories that it's trying to communicate. So I'm just going to essentially switch this one to a pie or donut chart and switch this one to a bar chart, right? Then I'm going to also come over here and do what we did last class, whereby because I don't need a legend, I don't need these over here. I need the regions to show on my charts. So I'm just going to go to my visualizations pane, format my visual, and essentially select category and data value. We're also making it bold, increasing the font a bit. So I'm going to do that to the rest, but for now, just so it to look readable. One thing you should do when you're creating a dashboard is understanding the charts that you want to see. The charts that will enable you to communicate, right, the full story or the full message that you're trying to relay, right? And in this sense, we're dealing with a very basic data set because you can see in our table view where we're dealing with a data set that just has information on different sales reps and details on the sales that they've handled, right? The vision, the units, the amounts, the products, and things like that. The goal of this analysis is essentially to just get an insight on how the different sales reps performed, right? And in terms of units that they sold, the total revenue that it brought in, and the products that each, how the products also performed. Just to get the full picture of what's going on when it comes to the sales reps and details of their sales. Right. That's essentially the goal of this dashboard. It's a very basic data set, nothing too crazy. The last thing we want to see is a trend, right? So because we are dealing with, we also have dates of sales. So essentially, I want to use and trend should be seen in a line chart. So a line chart, and I want to see first of all the date, then obviously how the different how the revenue developed or moved across the different days. So I'm going to, so you can notice now nothing is showing a dots. That's because of the data hierarchy I did in Power BI. So if I want to see the list, like the day, I'm going to essentially just, like, if I want to see each day, I'm not going to utilize the hierarchy feature. How do I disable it? Essentially, right click in my x-axis where the date is found, and instead of the hierarchy, select other date. It's going to break it down like this. Then we're going to edit these charts. Obviously, the theme I'm looking for is a red and black theme. Asking AI is a very important step in today's world. And what did AI have for me? I prompted it to give me something that has red and black, and it gave me something like this. Yeah, is what AI had for me. It's basic, right? It's basic dashboard, and we're just gonna go straight into it. So we're looking at doing something with a red and black theme. And yeah, so the background has to be white to start with. Canvas background has to be black to start with. Making it black and reducing the transparency completely. Then for all the charts, I want them to be completely transparent. So general effects, background off. Gonna switch off my backgrounds for now. Switch it off. And yeah, from there, going on to make the main features of my charts red. The columns, because it's a column chart, will be red. There's no standard red options to choose from, but this is not bad. So I'm going to essentially choose that same red because it will be in my recent colors for all the charts. You can see it's really looking at like what the AI brought out for me. And yeah, it's fine. When it comes to the donut chart, you can see that our theme is red and black. So, but we are not going to just choose one red. What do I mean? We're not going to make all these different states red. What we're going to do is manually choose different shades of red. It doesn't have to be manual. You can go online and get different shades of red, but depends on you. For me, I can just quickly do it from here. And it's not hard. It's a basic dashboard. I can just choose that one, and probably something lighter. Okay, that's good. If you notice, the write-ups, simply said, on the screen are not visible. To make them visible is essentially to make them something like white. So essentially just going to go to my detail labels, values, color, something close to white. Not really white, so they won't over, because we're still going to give our dashboard the title and other things, so they won't really try to compete with the main write-ups, which are the header, which is the header essentially. So I'm going to just go here to my x-axis, same idea, make it that color. Don't forget we increase the font here to 10, so earlier. So we're going to do the same thing here. Probably I'm done with all the charts the way I want to see them. Just want to make some, rearrangements. This background should also be removed. It's be transparent, right? And text value should also be uh, like this. Header, yeah, should be same color. Alright, it should say select month. Yep, 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 yep. So I'm quickly going to change the font of everything, right, to something like Calibri. It's just better to me. In my eyes, it looks better. So it's going to be sped up. And that's done. The space is a bit too. I believe it's too much for what I'm trying to visualize. So I'm also going to go to my canvas, click on my page, empty space, go to my canvas settings, and make it custom. Then reduce the bits a lot. So I want to just make it 1, 2. See how it is. First of all, nah, nothing changed really. Yeah, I think 1 do it. Let me give it 150. Yeah, okay. Quickly, let's give it a header. Give it a header. Insert text box. Call it what? Sales dashboard. Calibri bold. Yeah, probably 42. Yeah. Let's see. Remove the background while making it white, pure white. And let's see how this does over shifted to here. Almost the edge, but not really the edge for me. So I like their placements already, nothing too crazy. We'll deal with that positioning, the sizes. But for now, I'm going to give them some kind of substance. Looking too transparent for my liking. I know I personally removed the background, but we'll have to add something like a background. But first of all, we're going to clear out the gray lines, especially for the bar charts and the column charts. I don't like when my y-axis has the values. I'm going to turn that off and switch on what is called data labels. That will simply just say the values, nothing too crazy. So simply say what is going on. Don't forget the formatting that we did for it. White and Calibri. I want to give it some kind of I think the green line should be horizontal grid lines won't hurt, to be honest. But I don't want them. So I'm gonna switch on my background now. I'll make it the same color. Switch my visual border. And yeah, round the corners. Like 5 fix. Yeah. Make my visual border a bit gray, like this. 50% darker. And background. Yeah, 10% lighter. Let's see how it is. Okay, let's make the border. Let's give it more pixels. Like 10. Let's check it out. Okay. I think we'll maximize it then. The rounded corner, sorry. Let's check out how 20 looks like. 20 looks good, but I still want more, to be honest. So let's say 25. Yep. So 25 is just what we're looking for when it comes to the rounded corners, the pixels. We want to give it a title now. What title are we aiming for? Aiming for something that clearly depicts what we are trying to communicate. Here is essentially sales reps by units, or units sold per sales rep. Simple and short. I'm going to go here to my general title and give it. Title was really there, but if you notice, it was not white. It's not black. It was white. So I'll give it a better title. Forgive my typing. That works for me. Going to give the font. think size 14 is good for me. Divider will be appreciated. And I want to not ignore padding. Yeah, that looks pretty good to me. That looks pretty good to me. Essentially, I would like to do the same thing here. Just the exact same formatting, really. You see how I did that? I essentially copied my formatting from here under the home menu. From format painter, clicked on it, and I pasted it here. And it essentially did the exact same thing I did here. It affected it here. And that's the kind of vibe I was trying to adopt. I was trying to do just that. But obviously, the title has to be changed. That's revenue per product. So it's just going to say revenue, total revenue by product. Excuse me, instead of this per in the first title, I should have said by, please. That's more, it sounds better to my ears. So total, not only for total, it's obviously total revenue by sales by product. Now, the same length and breadth. How do you confirm that? Go to here, general and properties, size 268, width 500. So it's height 268, width 500. It's gonna make that 500 quickly. And yeah, they are the same size now. I'm working with the same size. Here, I would not want to clear the vertical grid line, but the horizontal grid line has to go. I would want to clear the vertical grid line, rather. Yeah, and I like how this is already, but I'm going to add more things, right? My lines, I want to add markers to my line chart. I want to add markers to my line chart. The title, sum of total revenue. I ordered it now. It's like some people like trend of revenue. Yeah, simple. And bracket 2025. Then Calibri and almost white. Actually, they are white. So it's looking quite good. So I would appreciate it being just white. So what I'm going to do first of all, I'm going to actually copy the format from this and paste it here. Nah, I'm not going to work with that. I'm going to work with that. So I want to make it have this kind of enclosure, something like that. And how do I do that? Go to my general background effects, switch it on, right? Switch my background on, but make it that color was like 50% darker. Nah, not like that. That color was. I don't want to make it like this color. I want to make it darker than that. To form a bit of a contrast. So let's say 10% darker. I think that's what is already there. Let's just check that back. Is that 10% darker? What is already here? What's the color code? 1A, 1A, 1A. What's the color code? 1A, 1A. So it's 10% darker already. Then that means I'm just gonna make it black. Yep, that does the trick. To confirm that all the visual borders are the same width outline. How do I do that? This is 1 point. This is 1 point. This should be 1 point then. But you can notice that, quickly notice that, like, the fact that this has this dark here is whiter than this dark here, this black here rather than this black here. The outline here shows better because of the, believe, the contrast that's existing within the colors. So I'm just going to increase the points a bit for the two charts in the bottom. And yeah, I'm going to do more when it comes to the positioning. Just a tad bit more, nothing too crazy. I like to work with a line in this case, shapes. I like to work with a line whereby following, how about I'm following. Yep. So I want my charts to start from the same place my title starts from. Yeah, same case with the chart at the bottom, just line it up like this. And I want also same thing to happen on the right hand side. Obviously, all while still maintaining. Do you know what? Something I just noticed now. This can start from here. Or this can be as short as the funnel chart. And it won't even hurt what I'm trying to see at all. Just rhymes, it just goes well, to be honest. Yeah, it does. Right? Doesn't it? It does. So do the same thing for this one. And obviously the same size should also exist in the middle. Yeah, that's just the way I believe things should operate. So this should just necessarily follow the same line, same size on the one at the bottom, because that has already been edited. And yeah, also, in case you were wondering, yes, it will follow 90 degrees. The width is 31. Now that's my focus. So the width is 31. I'm going to change this to 90 degrees and make the height 31. Yep. And that will be the same difference that would exist between my charts. That's a bit of the case. That's a good thing. Hmm. That's a very good thing. So I can make do with that. Just off the top of my head, I want to add I want to add different card visualizations. I'm going to increase the height of this workspace to like 850, to like 900. Increase the height of the canvas, and I'm going to add a caption on the top, changing the currency to Naira. So I've done the initial editing to the card. I want to now actually change the title. Don't like the way it is. So I'm doing it from my visualization pane. I've thought about it. I'm going to make this chart at the bottom also 10% darker, right? So they'll just all have the same. Leave what I said about contrast earlier. In this case, there's contrast and there's consistency. You know, you have to pick your struggle. In this case, it's not a struggle to go with contrast. Actually, it seemed like a good decision, to be honest. Right? So to go with the consistency. So I'm just gonna make this 10% lighter, and here we have it. Our dashboard good to go. So what does this help us see? Now let us see. Okay, what happened in? Nah, I have to edit this too. Edit this too. I have to edit that to values. I think the background, yeah, has to be black. And the font color, yeah, can still be white. So let's see. That's good. That's good. So what happened in January? In January, right? You can see the different days in January. Trend, you know, fluctuating, fluctuative. If that's a word. Now, smartphone most sales, units sold. John Smith was, units sold by sales rep. Uh, I think based on what we're trying to communicate, sales rep by units sold will be the better way to go, right? And also in the same sense, product by revenue. So the category coming first makes more sense in this our case. So yeah, in January you can see what happened. February you can see also what happened, and so on and so forth, right? You can also add more slices, maybe if you want to see what happened in different quarters, depending on the context. So this is a good and highly functional dashboard. Another thing that is advisable is obviously increasing the font size, increasing the font size of these Y and X axis. I believe you're GG and good to go. So you can see what happened in different months. You can also interact. Okay, how did Chen Wei perform? Obviously, it's from Asia. Okay, you want to see what really happened with the headphones. You want to see different things. You can see it in a more from a in detail. Actually, it's not. I wanted to say holistic point of view, but actually you can see detail. You can interact with your chats and play around with different things. This chat. But in essence, this is what we're looking for. So thank you. If you made it through the length of the series and this particular lengthy video, we really appreciate it. We really appreciate you if you like and subscribe. Don't forget to comment at the end of the video and share your thoughts. What do you think? What did you like? What did you want to see that you did not see? Stay tuned. Many more series and episodes, many more series are coming up for different tools, and especially